We're good.
Hello, my name is Noah Drought. I'm studying civil engineering at the University of Cincinnati, and for my research argument, I chose the discussion about violent video games and how it relates to current events and whatnot, and if we should be giving this game to our future generation, and these future games, violent games in general, to our future generations and whatnot. For my recast, I'd like to make this video with my friends who are also my age, who I'd like to have as my target audience for my video. Therefore, I will use them for interviews and whatnot about their relationship or relation to violent video games, if they play them, their opinions about them. I just like to reach out to a more designated audience rather than a more educated, high up, scholarly audience that I did for my paper. For my recast, I'd like to make this video with my friends who are also my age, who I'd like to have as my target audience for my video. Therefore, I will use them for interviews and whatnot about their relationship or relation to violent video games, if they play them, their opinions about them. I just like to reach out to a more designated audience rather than a more educated, high up, scholarly audience that I did for my paper. Known about shootings that I talk about are the Columbine shootings, the shooting at Sandy Hook, and the theater shooting in Aurora, Colorado. I'd like to point those out because the articles that I read about those from the media are very similar in a way that about halfway through the article, their video game activity comes up. Who cares about that? They say these shooters tend to play these violent video games, like names I've heard are Combat in Arms and Doom and other games like that. In a similar game that I like to play, Call of Duty, a bunch of different titles, is just as violent as those, and I don't see me or any of my friends doing that. I mean, right here, my friend is just sitting here playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and I don't see him. He goes to work every day rather than going out and harming people, and the media tries to say that he is more likely to do that, whereas he could just be more aggressive because of the competitive nature of the game. Michael, can you hand me that box real quick? So this says Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is rated M17+ for blood and gore, drug reference, intense violence, and strong language. So, Michael, do you think that would negatively affect you in any way? Like, do you think that would make you want to go out and hurt people just because you're doing that on a virtual video game?
I actually don't think that's true at all, because we face things like that every day with, everyday society, even in college, students, we cuss, we use profanity, I don't know if we really shoot people, we don't obviously do that, but,
Right. I understand what you're trying to say.
In some other form of the media, you're still like in, James Bond movies,
Right.
Are you saying that James Bond movies
violent themes are in other forms of media that are ignored.
Of course.
And people tend to look down on people that play video games like this consistently because usually stay inside, aren't very social, and that tends to be the outlook of men that go out and do horrific things that the news covers, like mass shootings and whatnot. And we just want to make a real world example that it's the simplest fact that, yeah, it caused underlying aggression, but no, we're not going out and hurting people. Alright, Connor. So we're going to talk about violent video games. Do you play any yourself?
Yeah, I do.
What are those games that you like? You like Grand Theft Auto or like Call of Duty or that stuff?
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Fallout.
Do you think the violence in those games affects you in any negative way? You ever feel like slightly more aggressive, like playing competitively and whatnot?
The violence and
No?
It's just a video game.
Right.
It's fun, and I'm just playing to have fun.
So do you think when the media blames shooters and games like Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty and Counter-Strike and all those other games for like crazy people like the guys that shot up Columbine and all those, what do you think about that?
I just don't feel like that has no relation. Like, there's no science behind that. There's no evidence.
You don't think the underlying like aggressive feelings that is just like obsolete in terms of violent outbreaks like that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There's a correlation whatsoever.
Thank you for your time.